All right, just wrapping that up about that article about Ron Paul. This guy Way, who's losing his house, and he needs to block the foreclosure, and he needs a social safety net, and his candidate is promising to rip it up. He says the government doesn't have people's best interest in mind, and they're probably disgusting criminals. How can I be a part of a system that disgusts me? There's some idea that the world is evil, and somehow you're going to separate yourself from it. Well, I have to tell you, it's too late. People are already in this system. You're in the world, and you better find positive means to get out of it, because you're not going to be pure no matter what you do. And very often the only hope you have is to get evil fighting evil so that you can diminish the net amount of evil. Anyway, I urge people to take a look at this. The quietism induced by libertarianism, the whole question of despair. It's a document that could be out of Germany in the Weimar Republic. It's in the Washington Post, Tuesday, January 10th. All right, now, changing gears, stressing activism. I have told you that it was important. We tried all autumn to try to induce more people to go into the Democratic primaries to challenge Obama, and it turns out that some did, and that there were about a dozen candidates other than Obama on the Democratic ballot in New Hampshire. And I looked at this ballot, and I saw some individuals, and I started looking them up, and I didn't get too far before I found Darcy Richardson. Now, here's what I know about Darcy Richardson. We're going to hear from him in just a minute. He says he's anti-war, he's anti-Wall Street, and he's pro-Occupy. Well, in a general way, I think that essentially qualifies him as a perfectly good vehicle for a protest vote. And we're going to get him on now. Tell us about his future primaries. But let's welcome him. And Darcy, we're very glad you can be with us. And why don't you just take it away? Tell us about your candidacy, the states you're going to be in, how people can help you, and anything else. We got about 20 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. Tarpley. It's great to be on World Crisis Radio. And like yourself, I had urged a number of Democrats to challenge President Obama in the Democratic primaries. I had reached out to former Labor Secretary Robert Reich, Cleveland Congressman Dennis Kucinich, and a few others, and had urged them to run. Unfortunately, I didn't hear back from Secretary Reich. I did receive a very nice communication from Dennis Kucinich's congressional office thanking me, but pretty much saying that he was focused on a difficult re-election in a redistricted congressional district there in Ohio, where he's going to have to run against.
He's fighting against another Democrat, right?
Another great Democrat. Yes, Marcy Kaptur. I mean, that's so unfortunate that we have two of the probably best members of Congress who really look out for the interests of the working class and the poor having to be pitted against each other. I mean, it's really unfortunate, but that's just very, very unfortunate for us. But in any case, when nobody filed going into the New Hampshire primary, about midway through the filing period, which was 2 weeks back in October, I decided, I would throw my hat in the ring as a token protest candidate, because I think it's important that the message of economic populism be heard in this election cycle, because President Obama isn't speaking that language, and obviously the carnival barkers on the other side don't understand what economic populism is. They're more interested in protecting the 1%. So I decided to give it a whirl, and so far,
great. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Tarpley. So far, we've qualified for the ballot in 5 states. We ran in...
Tell us those 5 now before we go any further, because people are going to get ready. You can get some support out of this.
Okay. Well, my name was on the ballot in New Hampshire on Tuesday, but we've also filed in Missouri, which their presidential primary is on February 7th. We qualified in Oklahoma, which has on Super Tuesday their primaries on March 6th. Louisiana on March 24th, where there will only be 3 of us on the ballot. And also we qualified in Texas, and there are just 3 of us as of this date who will be listed on the Texas Democratic presidential primary ballot. We also last weekend began a petition drive in the home of reactionary Scott Walker in Wisconsin, we had asked that the Democratic Party, it's up to the chairman who to list on the presidential primary ballot, but Mike Tate, the Democratic chairman, told the Secretary of State that he only wants the name of Barack Obama on the primary ballot. So our only way of actually achieving ballot status there is to go out and now collect between 8,000 and 12,000 signatures, which is a very, very difficult hurdle. But some of the folks who were involved in the recall effort are carrying our petition. So we're not totally discouraged. It's going to be very, very difficult, but we are making the effort. And beyond that, we're going to launch a petition drive in Pennsylvania, which is my old stomping ground, on January 24th, where we have to collect 2,000 signatures in a 3-week period. We're going to do neighboring New Jersey, which is the requirement is only about a half of what Pennsylvania is. And we're also going to be paying a filing fee to qualify in West Virginia, a state where Hillary Clinton, as you'll recall, defeated President Obama by 41 points in 2008.
Right.
So, and then we're going to also try to get on some of the caucus states where they have an actual paper ballot. So we're moving forward. We're doing it, running mostly on fumes. It's a very bare-bones campaign.
Let me ask you, where do you get the organization to do this? I mean, is there some pre-existing organization you can call on, or did you improvise it?
Well, it's mostly improvised. However, I am pleased to announce that the New Progressive Alliance, which is a nascent organization, just really founded about 13 months ago, they've endorsed my candidacy, and they have a couple thousand members across the country. So we are getting help there. And believe it or not, considering I'm virtually unknown, I've had over 150 people come to my website just in the past 3 weeks to volunteer. So there is some interest, and we're going to take it as far as we can and try to address the issues all along the way. I'm not going to defeat President Obama. This is an effort to push him a little bit in the direction of becoming more forceful and speaking to the issues and concerns of working class and middle income Americans and the poor. We're neglected in this entire debate. And
that's a great idea. Now, on this program, we would say, stop being such a Wall Street puppet, Obama.
There you go.
A little bit more forceful. But the other thing is, you mentioned your website. Why don't you give your website right away so maybe some people want to come forward?
www.darcy, that's DARCY, 2012.com. And you can volunteer
we'll be
there.
Repeating that, huh?
Yes.
Darcy2012.com.
Correct. And
okay.
Dr. Tarpley, you're absolutely correct when you say that you're mentioning Wall Street there. President Obama, and people have to understand this, he is Wall Street's candidate. According to the Center for Responsive Politics, President Obama received $37.6 million from Wall Street interest from 1998 until the moment he was sworn in January of 2009. In this election cycle, according to an analysis done by the Washington Post in late November, President Obama had already received $15.6 million from Wall Street, which is double that of Mitt Romney and any of the other Republicans running. And I don't know if you have talked about on your show the whole Bain Capital commercial that's being run by a 527.
Sure, by Gingrich's Super PAC. We went through that early in the broadcast. You should say something about it. We want to hear about anti-war, anti-Wall Street, and then mass struggle. But we'll be back in a minute on World Crisis Radio. We've got another 10 minutes left.